Good morning, everyone. We have an exciting Monday morning for you. We're going to talk a little bit about how you might possibly improve your life on a daily basis. Um, Tried and true over the years, many generations. Okay. I hope you have something nice and warm or cold to
Oh,
start your day with. So, I'm Carol Henderson. I have the Life by Design studio, and I work with people to help them to circle their life up and get better and better each and every day. You have a choice. You can go up or you can go down.
mm,
And it is simple to do. And as Mr. Olson in The Slight Edge talks, what's easy to do is also easy not to do. It's one of my favorite books, and I've been telling Barbara about it for years, and she finally went and read
succumbed to
it. So, but it's a great book with great principles in it. And I need to
Mhm.
go back and read it again. In fact, I think I'm going to spend my Audible credits on that so I can listen to it in the car.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good book. It's a good book. But in the meantime, here is my wonderful co-host, Miss Barbara Ellison.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show, Monday Morning Motivation. And as I said, I'm Barbara Ellison. I'm founder of Wellness Playroom for the best version of you. So, what does it mean to be the best version of you? Are you who God called you to be? Do you have the physical health that we are committed to having in our lives to feel good, as Carol says, to feel good every day? Do you have the financial stability? And that's one of the things that, those are the three things that go into a thriving lifestyle. But in my case, also a thriving retirement, because so many people are coming up to retirement and, oh, yeah, what am I going to do? So that's where I'm. So if that's you, you're facing retirement, not quite sure how you're going to handle the emotional side of retirement.
Yeah.
Reach out to me. Would love to chat, and we will just talk about what you're going to do to have purpose, passion, drive to be the best version of you as you transition into the next exciting part of life.
Well, and so many people think it's just going to happen to them and that they
And
are going to live the life that they see on TV, go on a yacht, go on a
yeah,
cruise,
exactly.
hike in the mountains, go skiing, whatever, have multiple homes. Well, if you don't have those things now, you certainly won't have those in retirement
Right,
because it is a shift and it can be an extreme shift if you're not prepared.
right.
Uh, my husband was retired on full disability at like 49. We were not, and we didn't have a clue, didn't think that was going to happen, but he broke his back. They said he'd never work again. He worked for 10 more years because he was able to go get his cruise started and check on him and then come home and go to bed and then go back and check on his cruise. And so that's how we lived for 10 years. And then he did finally fully retire on full disability, but that was nothing compared to what he was making. And
Right.
so it was a shock. It was an adjustment. Um, and not sudden, but sudden,
Right,
because, at 49,
right,
that's young. That's
right.
young.
And you don't think it's going to happen to you.
No, and he was not healthy enough to go do a lot of physical things because of the back, the surgery went awry. But, and, drugs upon drugs upon drugs because of the surgery and pain. So, if you don't plan for those things, or plan for your retirement. And he came up here. We moved to the lake house during that time, and he just kind of sat and piddled around, and he was on a decline until I got a hold of him and got him off a lot of the drugs, but it was 25 years that he was on them. And
Right,
so, it was a choice to
right.
continue to live because so many people sit around, think that they're going to eat bonbons and watch soap operas, and they just decline to the point that they end up in the hospital, tubes running out of their body, and then they
Yeah,
go.
right. And
So,
the one of the things that I loved about Carol, about your story with Keith is too, it's never too late. It's never too late.
No.
And so often people get into that mindset, oh, well, I'm already 60. You can hardly walk. And
Mm,
that was part of my story in my 40s. At
yeah.
42, I could hardly walk some days because
Yeah.
of the pain in my joints and I had a headache every day and thought that was normal. And
Yeah.
then finally got to the point where, all right, this is ridiculous. If I'm like this in my early 40s, I am not going to make it to 60.
Right.
And,
Right.
and I grew up with my father saying that he was going to live to be 100. And I
And
grew
he
up with
did.
that. And he did. He lived to be 102.
Right.
And because he embraced the things that help with that, to do that,
Right.
to be mentally, like acute, have mental acuity, and to have good health and stuff. Mind you, at 80, he was in a world of hurt. But luckily by that time, I was already in the wellness space.
Hmm.
And I was like, Daddy, you are going to do this. And finally,
Yeah.
one day I went to visit him, and we were sitting in the back seat on one of the drip trips to a doctor, to one of his doctors, and he said, I'm taking your stuff. I said, you are? He said, yeah. He said, I just have to. And I checked the labels like you told me to, and you have better stuff than what the doctor was giving him. Well, that totally changed the trajectory because he avoided colon surgery at 80 years old.
Yeah.
And he lived to be 102. He
Right.
lived for 80
Right.
more years, 20, what, 20 some odd more years
Well,
because
yeah,
he had
that's the
hope, because he
story
had
with
purpose.
Keith. You know,
Exactly.
I was looking and I was working and we had improvements and we had improvements, but they were
Improvements.
small. And
Right.
I mean, and the, prolotherapy, which is injections of a sugar water, basically, it can be done with plain old sugar water, where the ligament touches the bone, kept him out of a wheelchair.
Right.
So we had some marked improvements, but it wasn't until 2012 that we had like an extreme improvement in his health. And then again in 21, when I
Mhm.
found what we're doing today, we still do what we found in 2012, but we've added on to it the products that Barbara and I do, and had another huge leap. But
New
gone
level.
from on a walker in a wheelchair when we were in public to going out and basically farming our property,
Right.
uh, digging
Right.
ditches last year and stuff like that. So major, down from 23 prescriptions, not pills, prescriptions, down to two. And then because of this last fall, we've added two in that he was not on before. But, and those are for 1 year. We only have to take
Right.
those for
Right.
1 year. So that's a beauty that, you know, you can circle up. Sometimes there'll be,
It is right.
I can't really say a setback, but a new rock thrown in your shoe.
Right.
And
Right.
you have to get that rock out of your shoe. But
Exactly.
it's so, don't give up looking.
Right.
And if you have any, I mean, there's not a lot that Barbara and I, one or the other of us or both of us can't help you with. So
Yes.
spirit, soul, and body, get with us if you're having a problem, if you're having problem thinking, if you're having problems walking, any of those things that you put off to old age.
Hmm.
Well, God gives us 120 years. And,
Exactly.
Moses was not dim of eye or halt of step, and he was 120.
Right.
So, and he just, God came and took him. It wasn't at all that he died because he was old and in a hospital with tubes running out of his body.
Yeah.
I don't
And
think they
one
did.
thing I have to say, one time I said to somebody the other day, because they were talking about the pharmaceuticals that they're on. And I said, well, I look at it this way. Nutrients have been around since the beginning of time.
Mhm.
Drugs have only been around for what, since the 1600s. Even then, they were very simple drugs, not
Yes,
like the pharmaceuticals that we have now. But
right.
that's kind of what I am just so grateful that we live in this time of the strides that have been made in medical
Choices.
technology.
Mhm.
Medical technology. So that's one of the things that Carol and we talked about also, is that, do you have a daily inspirational practice in your life?
Yes, yes. That is
Whether
very
it's
important.
as part of it, and it goes along with what we are already talking about this morning, because that's your physical body. But it's not only your physical body, it's your what's from here to here,
Yes.
this part of your body, because this part of your body is connected to the rest of your body. Who
And
knew?
this
You
part of
know,
your body,
and this part of your
your
body.
so spirit, soul, and body. And your
Exactly.
spirit is your I'm drawing a blank, intuition.
It should,
It
yes.
is your
Your direction, and you just
yeah,
how you live your life,
yeah, I
how you
struggled
want
with
to
it
live your
once.
life.
But your body is bone, flesh, and blood.
Right.
Your soul is mind, will, and emotions.
Emotions.
And your body is your conscience, your
Yes.
intuition. You talk about that gut feeling.
That gut
That's the
feeling.
Lord talking to you. Uh,
Yes.
I mean, and that's how it is. So, we are a three-part being, and each of those three parts have three parts. And so if you're way spiritual, but you're deathly ill, that's not a good life.
Right.
If you are just so intellectual, but your spirit life is not any good, you
Non-existent.
never stop to be grateful or to thank the creator. Uh, he's the Lord Most High. There is no other. And so if you don't take time to thank him and honor him, then you're out of balance. You need to be a balance. Or if you sit on the sofa all day and all you do is read scriptures, but you can get up and walk and you can get up and do things,
And yet
that's
don't.
not good either.
That's
Or if
not
you
good either.
exercise all the time and never crack your Bible, that's not, you've got to find a balance. And one of the things that we wanted to talk about today is daily reading. And I don't mean this, okay? I mean an inspirational reading. Barbara does that. She does. I typically read my Bible every day,
Mhm.
and I read my inspirational stuff a little less diligently, just because I am not in that habit. But, you can't beat the Bible for inspiration.
Exactly. I read it every day. Every day.
Yes, yes.
Um,
Yeah. But
and
she
it's
also
so
does
easy.
it is. It
So
is.
easy.
If you
And
get up
there's
and
an
spend
app.
the first
There's an
10
app.
minutes, 10 minutes, give him 10 minutes each day. Get up, be grateful, think, oh, Lord, the sun is up. Or the sun's gonna come up. I get up at dark 30,
Yes,
or
I do
sometimes
too.
dark.
Oh, dark. This
Uh,
morning it was dark.
yeah, this morning was so dark. Actually,
Most mornings it's dark.
more mornings are dark than they are dark 30. And of course, I have chickens, so even days that I don't have to get up then, they get me up. They keep me busy. So, and now we
Exactly.
have a puppy, and of course, that's a whole nother world. A puppy without an adult dog to help raise. So
Yeah.
anyway, that is, but we wanted to bring to you a little bit about inspirational readings. And there's a reason we want to bring that to you, because Barbara and I are both international best-selling authors of a book called Gratitude.
Yeah. The art of
It-
gratitude. The
yeah,
art of gratitude.
yeah. And it is an art.
It
It's
is.
learned.
It's learned. It's a learned habit. Like with
Yes.
me now, as soon as my eyes open, my eyes open, it's like, well, thank you, Lord, that I have eyes to see and ears to hear and a mouth to speak, a heart to love and arms to hold.
Mhm.
Because when you can do all of those things, then everything else is gravy for you.
Yes.
Everything else is gravy for you. And it's so much of it is in how we start our day.
Mhm.
Keyword there is start your day. If you start your day by looking at your email or looking at your phone and reacting to the messages that are there, yeah, that's not feeding your soul. And the thing is, though, if you don't have something within you, how can you possibly give it to somebody else?
Yes.
So that's where starting the day with joy and gratitude and happiness, it colors absolutely the rest of your day. So that
Yeah.
when something does happen, you are more in tune and can handle it so much better than because then otherwise it becomes just a snowball of,
Mhm.
oh, it's
Oh,
going to
if
be
you
one of
miss your,
those days.
yeah, sometimes if you miss your quiet time in the morning,
Oh,
it the whole day
snowballs,
kind of rolls
snowballs.
downhill and it's not a snowball.
Yeah,
So,
that's
and it just gets bigger and bigger. So preempt it. Start your day. Start your
with
day.
gratitude.
And
Put on
we're
your
going to
armor.
put our book link in the chat. It's 365 days of gratitude.
Got one for
And
every.
it's just a little short quote and then a little bit about the quote and why and where and such. But good book. Good book. And I think isn't it on sale right now at
Oh
Amazon?
yeah, I think it's like $1.99, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Something it's not expensive, so there's no excuses there.
And
Um,
it gives you a daily, it's not a devotional, which I mean, I do daily devotionals,
right.
uh, but it's just and it just every day because I'm reading it, because I'm reading the other authors. Um, and it has just been really interesting. And plus, I'm
Mhm.
connecting with some of the other authors that are also on LinkedIn. And so it's just been really interesting to meet some of them and find out their story. What's their backstory? Because you know what? We all have a backstory.
We all have a
We
backstory.
all have a backstory. And
Yes.
whether we handle it well or whether we keep it to ourselves or whether we're using our story to help someone else.
Well, and that's the thing. If you don't have a test, you don't have a testimony. And so how are you going to help someone else? They say that people are helped by the word of our testimony.
Right.
It's like, oh, they went through that. Their husband was sick. Their husband
Right.
was disabled. Uh,
Mhm.
whatever your
I lost my
testimony is.
husband. Never
Yeah.
thought I would be a widow so young.
Yes, yes. And so she ministers to a lot of widows
Mhm.
because of that. I can't do that. I mean, I can, but it's got a different flavor because I've not walked it.
Right.
And so when you've walked a road, you can say, "Oh, there's a rock there. Be careful. You'll want to go around that boulder. Don't try to go through it or climb over it because there's an easier path."
Right.
And that's what it is. You don't have a message without a without a mess.
Mhm.
So, you have to have a mess to have a message, and you have to have a test to have a testimony. So don't bemoan those testimonies. Don't look
Right.
for the bright side in them. Look for
Right.
what you can learn. Look for what you can give away.
That it's a
And
learning experience.
yes, because it is. That's what it's meant to be. And there is a way out. There is a way out. So we want to just tell you, be sure and do the art of gratitude. Get one, read it. We don't get anything from it. We're
Yes,
the
yes.
authors in it,
Mhm.
but it was a friend that asked us to be a part of her
Part of
book.
it.
So anyway, thank you so much for coming on our show today and watching it. Um, be sure if you're on Facebook to click like and share. If you're watching it on YouTube, please subscribe, ring the bell so you'll get notifications because I do put things up as a premiere if possible. And comment, tell your friends,
Yes.
and give us a thumbs up. And there was a give us a
One
thumbs
other
up because
step.
that makes
Yes.
us be seen more. So anyway, thank you so much for coming on and you know, be grateful. Be grateful
Mhm.
for everything in your life. Bye.
Bye, everybody. See you next time.
Yeah.